Alright guys, all the tools I use in this video will be linked in the description below, but I have a special tool used for removing belts, drive belts on J-Series V6s. This will probably also work on your 4-cylinders. It's going to be your Toyota applications. It's actually a 14 millimeter. You have 14 and 19. This is the 19 side. This is the 14 side. What you do is you go down here to the tensioner, and it's just a long metal bar. That's actually going to give you the leverage you need to be able to get the belt loose. These things can be a real pain. Let me see if I can get this clamp, this wiring harness loose first. Okay, got that out of the way, kind of. Okay, now I'm going to go down here. Hopefully you guys can see this. I push forward on this. Try to get it past this hose so I don't break this hose. Okay, it's on there. Slowly pushing forward. With it forward now, go to the power steering pump. Slide the belt off. Release it. Then I'm able to get the tool back out. If you need to, make a note of where the belt went around the specific pulleys, or you can always just Google it. There's all kinds of diagrams online for whatever application you're working on. Stepping up to Bando, which is made in the United States of America. Alright, now I'm going to do the pulley. One last thing, it's always a good idea to take the old belt, take the new belt, and make sure that both, just take them out and make sure that they line up as far as lengthwise. It's always a good idea. Alright guys, working on the tensioner for the drive belt. It is right here. It sits right next to the crankshaft pulley. Crankshaft pulley is right there. The tensioner is right here. So you have, right where my finger's pointing, I believe that is a 14 millimeter bolt. And right there you have a 10 millimeter. It's either 10 or 12. Looks like a 12. So Honda, Acura, mostly uses 8s, 10s, 12, 14s, 17, and 19. But your 10, 12, 14, 17s are your most common. So I'm going to pull that off, get that free and clear, and pull the 12 millimeter bolt right there. So I'll probably set you down and time lapse it, but you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys how you can save money on this tensioner. You don't have to replace the whole thing, just a couple components on it, and for less than 30 bucks, and you're back in business. But okay, so I got a 14 millimeter wrench going down here on this side. Gonna break it loose. I should have gotten a ratchet one. That would have made more sense, but you don't necessarily have to have a ratcheting one. So it's broken loose. I'm gonna get here this 12 millimeter. It's off screen a little bit, but just have a 1/4 inch ratchet, the 1/4 inch drive. Well, let me see if I can get this crankshaft pulley bolt off so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have a Milwaukee gun right here, and I have the oversized Lyle socket. I was trying a regular standard 19 millimeter, wasn't doing anything. So let's see if this gets it off. There you go. Sometimes it doesn't work, so just make note of that. There's a crankshaft pulley bolt if you guys ever wonder what it looks like. Okay, so now you guys can be able to see that a little bit better. Okay, so now you guys can see the tensioner. There's the 12 millimeter bolt I was talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and get that out. Now just note, you don't have to take off the crankshaft pulley bolt to do this. Here's the bolt. Get this 14 millimeter out. Just trying to work it out. There we go. Looks like the oil pan is leaking a little bit. Right there, you can see. So in the lower cover, I drilled holes. You can see it there and there. I always do this when I do a Honda J-Series V6 timing belt. That way, if the water pump is failing, you know, coolant's coming out of the weep hole, it'll come out relatively easy. It's not stuck behind. There's a rubber seal that goes all the way around the lower timing cover. Coolant can come out, or oil. But you can see there's some oil buildup here, so I'm thinking the oil pan seal is shot. There is no gasket, it's just RTV that's in there. I always like to do that, drill tiny little holes in the lower cover, if I can point it out right. So if there's any problems, you can spot them easily and quickly before it's too late. All right, here's the tensioner. Don't mind this pink background. I just put it here so you guys can see what I'm doing. The table's black, so on the back, here's the 14mm screw bolt we were pulling off. The back has a little plastic ring that keeps the bolt from sliding all the way through. So, take that out. You just obviously just pull it through. Now, it's stuck in there, so can't get that out. Doesn't matter. Just make sure that it's there when you guys reinstall it. Okay, so here's one of the pulleys. Here's the other pulley that we need to get off. What happens to these pulleys, the tensioner doesn't fail. I mean, it can fail internally, but it's very, very rare for it to happen. There's a big spring down there. Can you guys see that? Big spring. It barely ever fails. What happens is these two parts will separate. So if you see that, this little hack won't work. You'll have to replace the tensioner. But if you don't see that and everything looks good, you can actually just replace the bearings inside the pulleys. Now I got some bearings and I hope they're the right size. Doesn't look like they're big enough. Yeah, I made it for this one, but this one might be bigger than what I thought it was going to be. I might have one. But let's take a look. No, it's not the right size. It's too small. What you would do if this was the right size, what you would do, so you have a lip here, you just get a socket that fits the inner dimensions of this pulley, get a hammer, pop this out, and then drive the new one in. Just make sure it's flush. This is a 14mm as well, but it is reverse threaded. So the normal righty-tighty, lefty-loosey doesn't work. It'd be righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. Just make note of that when you're trying to undo this bolt. And I think it will work there. Yeah, that's the right bearing for that top one. But the lower one, different size. I'll need to run to O'Reilly's to get one. But I'll put a link in the description below as well of this bearing. NSK B1 7-102 DG48. I'll put the link in the description below, and I'll put these as well. So this is a national bearing P03-FF, and I bought an SKF bearing of the same size of this one, and that is part number SKF 6203 2RS-JEM. But I need to run and get this bad boy, so I'll be back. Alright guys, so real quick, I just want to show you, this is the pulley with the bigger bearing. I actually found the bearing. It is NSK. Part number is, and I'll put a link in the description below as well where you guys can pick this up. But if you want to do a Google search, for those of you who cannot read, it's 630-3VV Charlie 3 Echo NS7S, and then you have a little number right here, 804. So, but it's an NSK bearing, brand new. Haven't even gotten out of the packaging yet, so open that up real quick. Right there, Japan, baby, because there are a lot of people out there that are making fake bearings, especially from China. So, see real quick. It fits in nice and tight, so you just tap that down with a socket and make sure it's bottomed out, and you're good to go. And that way you don't have to replace this whole silly tensioner with all kinds of silly money that you don't want to spend. 2 hours later and $25 less in my pocket, got a pulley that kind of looks like it, right? So everything lines up. I checked this at the store. Everything lines up. Depth, width, bearing. One thing I did notice is that this rim, I guess you could call it, is a lot steeper than this one. This one has more of a shallow angle, shallow attack. This one goes like right into 90 degrees. So when I line this up, everything looks good, right? Well, everything looks good and no scraping here. But when I go to put on the bolt and this cover, the cover actually hits the pulley, so it's not going to work. If you were in a pinch and you had to, I guess you could just put the bolt in there. It would work if you left this piece out. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this piece back on. I'm just going to go tomorrow when Honda's open and go get me a new pulley, or try to find me a bearing. So return this to O'Reilly. Kind of a bummer. Thought it would work. And like I said, I guess it could if I just stuck that back in there and went with that, minus the cover. So next thing I want to do, I want to get this one off. This 14 millimeter, righty loosey, lefty tighty. If you don't have a gun or an impact like this, you can always put this into a vise. Get a 14 millimeter wrench. Get yourself a hammer and hit it down clockwise. It'll break it loose. Or if you don't have a vise, get a buddy, have your buddy hold it, put his foot on the ground, and hit this with a hammer. Hopefully he weighs more than you do. So let me see if I can bust this loose. My gun is set to tighten because this is reverse threaded. There we go. Man, that sucker's on there tight, huh? There's the washer, there's the bolt. So yeah, this bearing's shot. So see, line that bearing up, everything fits perfectly. So what you got to do is get a socket. This one actually is too big, but you get a socket. You can't drive it out this way, so you place it on the ground. Get a socket this size, knock it through, get your new bearing, and then push it back that way. And it'll be centered, or I should say level. It'll be level because of the slip. You can't go past this lip, so you'll be level. So I wanted to show you this part real quick. So I got a socket. It is a 26 millimeter. 26. You guys see that right there? It fits perfectly into the recessed area of the lip. There you go. The bearing is out. I destroyed the bearing doing it, but it's out. So I need to find a socket that will fit this rim, because I got to drive it in this way. That's just too small. So let me see if I can find a socket that will actually fit this rim, because you saw I destroyed the other bearing because it actually hit where the seal is at. I'll drive the new one in there. Okay, I found one that will fit. 27 millimeter socket. Flip over the pulley. Place that as straight as you can. Oh yeah, it's going in nice. Bring in the socket. Just tap the new bearing in. Make sure it's centered. Just checking to see if I got a little bit more room to go before it's bottomed out. Don't beat it or anything like your ex-wife. Just some love taps to get this thing in here. You could add some oil or white lithium if you had to. Okay. It's a little bit off, a little high right on that side. Okay, seated correctly. Everything's good. So instead of buying a new tensioner, just replace your pulleys. Just replace your bearings. inside the pulleys and be good to go. Double checking, making sure everything is bottomed out, making sure the bearing is bottomed out. And it is. So there you go, guys. I'm not going to show you how to reinstall it. If you've gotten this far, you can do it yourself. Just take your time, double check your pulleys on the lower part, that they fit perfectly. I haven't measured this new bearing to see if it would fit, but this one is much bigger than this one, so it won't work. Otherwise, I would have just tapped this bearing out and put it into the old housing, the old pulley housing. So there you go, guys. Hope this has helped you out. If you can, subscribe, and I will see you later.